Well, hello there. Welcome back. At the end of the day, writing is a solitary activity. You sit down, you write, not with a team or a buddy or your friends. No, just you, staring at the blank screen, somber music playing in the background as your inner demons wake up and start messing with your mind. Or maybe that's just my process. My point is, writing is a lonely journey. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be? Imagine having a group of fellow writers cheering you on, offering feedback, and helping you grow. If that sounds interesting, stick around because today we're diving into everything you need to know about finding, participating in, and even starting a writing group. Welcome to The Edge. My name's Mark, and among other things, I write science fiction, fantasy, and horror. I've written over 1 million words of fiction, and over the years, I've spent hundreds of hours talking to and working with other writers in countless workshops, retreats, bars, writing groups, and conferences. And today, I'm going to tell you about writing groups, how to find them, join them, and make sure they're the right fit for you. Writing groups can be invaluable for growth, getting feedback, accountability, and that sense of community that you get from spending time with a group of like-minded creators. The first step is finding the right writing group for you. Start by looking locally. Check libraries, community centers, bookstores, even websites like Meetup for listings. And if you prefer online communities or there are no local writing groups where you live, platforms like Facebook and Reddit have groups tailored to different genres and interests. There are even dedicated websites for writing groups and critique groups such as critters.org and Critique Circle. So look around and see what you find. There's a lot of them out there. Once you've found a few candidates, take some time to vet the group and see if it's a good fit for you. Are they focused on your genre? That's very important. A romance writer in a science fiction group is not going to get the best feedback, and vice versa. Do you have friends or acquaintances in the group? That helps a lot. A familiar face always makes it more comfortable and fun. And sit in on a few sessions. What is the tone of the discussions and critiques? Some groups are gentle and supportive, always focusing on the positive, while others can be sharp, even harsh, with raw criticism that can discourage the more fragile writers. And some have a good balance in between where they take the writing very seriously and give you good feedback on what you can improve and what you need to improve without soft touching it too much. And just like any group, you've got to watch for the group dynamic. Be aware of any group that asks for money or is dominated by an individual or clique, as these kinds of people are only there to stroke their own egos and make the experience absolutely miserable for everyone else. Now, once you find a group, participation is key. Be open and consistent, join in discussions, share your work, and offer constructive feedback to others. The more you invest in a group, the more you're going to get out of it. Plan a few hours before each session to read the work from other members, taking time to carefully read their work, to really understand what they're trying to achieve, and making note both of what they did well and what they can improve. Putting in the time for other writers in the group builds trust and goodwill that encourages them to give the same care and attention to your work when it's your turn to be on the hot seat. And that's very important. If the other members of the group don't take you seriously or don't see you as someone who's contributing, they're not going to put a whole lot of effort into critiquing your work, so you're not going to get much out of it. And remember, a good writing group should feel supportive, encouraging you to step outside your comfort zone while helping you polish your craft. If you find the atmosphere to be hostile, overly critical, or toxic, it's time to look for another group. Now let's talk about etiquette for a moment. When you're part of a writing group, proper etiquette goes a long way. You need to offer feedback that's honest, yet kind, and be clear that your suggestions are just that, suggestions. A good rule of thumb is to start with the positive. What worked? What stood out as particularly engaging or poignant? Then offer suggestions on what can be improved. This soft touch helps other writers to be more receptive to your feedback and encourages them to keep improving without getting discouraged or overwhelmed by a lot of negative feedback. That's especially important for new members to the group or people who are fairly new at writing. A more experienced writer typically has a very thick skin, and you can be very direct with them and give them pretty sharp critiques, and they're going to understand where you're coming from, why you're giving them that level of critique, and they're going to take it seriously. And when you receive feedback, it is essential not to take it personally. The feedback you get on your own writing is about the writing. It's not about you personally or about you as a writer. Separate yourself from your work and understand that constructive criticism is aimed at making the writing stronger, not tearing you down. And a resilient mindset is crucial to thriving in a writing group. Because trust me, a group of writers will always find things you need to work on that you didn't know about. And that's very helpful, but it hurts a little bit because you really think your work is good when you turn it in, right? And remember, every critique is an opportunity to grow. And if you keep hearing the same kinds of feedback, you've likely found an area you need to work on. At the same time, remember that not all advice is created equal, and not everything that you hear back will resonate with you. And that's okay. Take the feedback that works, ignore the feedback that doesn't work. You're not writing to please your writing group. Rather, you're soliciting feedback so you can pick and choose what changes make sense and what aligns with your vision and the story you're trying to tell. And not everyone's going to get it. So there may be some feedback that you just set aside because it's not really relevant to what you're trying to achieve. Now, unfortunately, not all group dynamics are perfect. Sometimes you may encounter troublesome members, people who dominate discussions, don't let other people get a word in edgewise, people who give unduly harsh criticism, or don't understand your genre, or don't contribute meaningfully to the group at all, but expect everyone to give them a lot of attention when it's their turn. When this happens, consider addressing it privately with the group leader or the other members, but also know when to walk away. Writing groups are about collective growth, and if a group isn't offering that, or worse, if it's creating a toxic environment, it's probably not the right fit for you, and it's okay to leave and find another group that aligns better with your goals and your values. Your writing journey deserves a supportive community that lifts you up. Don't waste your time and creative energy on a group that drags you down. Just don't do that. Now, if you made it this far, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That's how YouTube knows you got something valuable out of this video, and it really helps the channel reach a larger audience. So, what if you can't find the perfect group? Well, why not start one of your own? Starting a writing group lets you shape the experience the way you want. You can decide the focus, the schedule, and the group rules. Reach out through social media or your friends or community boards to find members. And once you get a group together, set clear expectations from the beginning. Establish meeting times, group etiquette, and the kind of feedback members should give and receive. The best writing groups are those where everyone feels safe, supported, and encouraged to improve. A good format is to have 6 to 8 writers in a group and meet for about 2 hours every other week or sometimes once a month. In each session, aim to critique 2 to 3 pieces, which are either short stories or chapters, aiming for about 1,500 to 3,000 words. This is enough for people to really get a sense of your writing and where you're going with it, but it doesn't overwhelm the group members with too much homework, and that's important. And you need to rotate through the members so everyone gets a turn getting feedback. This provides a good amount of feedback without being overwhelming and limits how much is reviewed in each session and keeps the homework to a reasonable level for the participants. Now, hopefully that helps. Remember, writing does not have to be lonely. There are thousands of other writers out there, and we all love talking about writing. Having a community to share your work with can make all the difference. Whether you're joining an existing group or starting your own, the right writing community can be a powerful tool for your growth. Now get out there and find some writing buddies, you charming, croissant-chomping champion of the written word. That was a dumb look on my face, but I think I got the inflection right. Now get out there and write.